Chapter 6. Sarah. It wasn't a hard decision to make. I won't press charges, she said on the phone. If you don't go after Rob. God, Tom groaned. You're in love with him, aren't you? Sarah ignored the bait, pressing on. Do we have a deal? He didn't speak for what felt like an eternity. It was so quiet on the other line she thought he'd actually hung up on her. Then his voice came through, sounding tired and defeated. Fine, he whispered. I won't press charges either. That interaction had left Sarah fatigued and overwhelmed, but it wasn't a hard decision to make. It's scary to realize she'd do just about anything to protect Robert. But it is what it is. Tom was dealt with and things could go back to normal. Sarah did not expect their little talk when they got home. The conversation left her drained, like her muscles were exposed and her heart trashed against her rib cage. She had dreamed about this moment for so long, and it was all wrong. It wasn't real. Robert was unstable, he was still adjusting, he was confused. He liked her, but not in that way. Romantic and platonic feelings are not the same. He had all those years, all those opportunities to say something, and he didn't. It wasn't real. Her best friend turned into a werewolf and now his hormones were all over the place. Maybe he wanted to fuck her. But you don't have to love someone to want them. That's the thing he was mixing up. It had to be. Robert couldn't possibly be in love with Sarah. She couldn't handle false hopes. She couldn't risk it. Rita keeps calling her. That woman hasn't let her out of her sight from the moment she texted her the situation. You don't text that and then act surprised when I call you, she shouted through the phone. Just talk to me. We don't have to talk about what happened. Tell me what you're doing right now. Anything. Which drove Sarah to go on another rant about her thesis, that Alfred had grown a couple more centimeters, then hopping on Discord so they could chat while she played a cozy video game about farming and killing old gods. It was a fun distraction from the depressing ambience around her. No, she did not have any incidents going to school or work. Tom did not follow her anywhere. He did not call. He did not text. The stalking seemed to be over. Who knew? He just needed to have the fear of God beaten into him. Her life was slowly getting back to normal. Yet things at home were tense. Rita actually spent a night at her place. She insisted, actually. They watched a horror comedy, then a new K-drama on Netflix, all while eating bad but yummy, oily foods on the sofa. It was a fun night, till Sarah caught a glimpse of Robert going to the kitchen to fetch a cup of water. They exchanged no words. Rita immediately knew something was wrong. Did you guys have a fight or something? She asked, visibly confused. I don't want to talk about it, Sarah mumbled. Oh, so you guys did have a fight. Rita frowned. Did he say something about Tom? It wasn't. We just need space right now. You want me to beat him up? She asked, very serious. 'Cause I can go beat him up right now. Rita, she sighed. I'll put him in the hospital. You just need to ask. You needed help opening up a popcorn bag. It was a greasy, stubborn popcorn bag. Robert is a mushy human being. I can take him. Nope, she thought. Not anymore, he isn't. Everything is fine, she said with her best lying face. You do not need to put Robert in the hospital. I promise. Rita looked at her pensively, like she saw right through her, like she was about to call her on her bullshit. She did none of that. Instead, her friend laid back and kept eating her greasy popcorn. Sarah thought she was off the hook. Then Rita had the gall to say, if this is about your undying love for each other, I'm going to be really upset you pushed him away out of some sense of insecurity and self-hatred your mom instilled in you, which is double bullshit, by the way. Sarah couldn't look in her direction the rest of the night. She did soften up, though, when Rita told her she put her mom in the hospital too. She only needed to ask. That was nice of her. Sarah is not sure why she's setting herself up for failure. It's my home too, she tells herself. I deserve to be comfortable in my own home. Truth be told, this past week has been a nightmare. They're ignoring each other. They only talk when it's strictly necessary. They can barely be in the same room together. For Sarah, it's like she's back at her childhood home, doing every possible desperate thing to avoid being around her mother. The thought makes her grow ill. So, that is why she is in the fucking living room, by herself, with no Rita to alleviate the tension between them. Sarah waits for Robert. She wants to figure things out, under the guise of watching another marathon. Of reality TV. It's a very simple plan, really. Robert is going to walk into the living room any second now. They're going to have a talk. They're going to fix things. If he wants to. If he wishes to fix anything at all. This is a hard lesson she learned way too young. You cannot force people to make amends. You can't force people to like you. If Robert is fine with how things are, then Sarah just has to suck it up. Or make plans to move out. Is what it is. Although she desperately wants things to be good between them, she can't force the poor man to be around her if he doesn't want to. She can't force this. She can't lose him like that. Sarah hears the keys clicking inside the lock. She holds her breath. She waits. She catches a glimpse of Robert's eyes, and Sarah knows she's a fucking